What works? Language, literacy and numeracy in training and assessment.
We have to understand that every person is different. So if they can learn in a certain way, then we have to have that option available to them.
There's a lot of ways to learn. So I started changing that. I started doing, verbal assessments. I started, simplifying words for students that just didn't get them.
So for one trainee, a written task might be suitable, but it might not be for the learner that's sitting right next to them. Maybe I have to adopt a verbal style of assessment, ask them the questions because that's what they feel more comfortable with.
I've tried to bring down the level of information I do give them in classes and bringing it more into activity, where people are conversing, where people are sharing information, where you're doing group work and people are writing things down.
So you just pair them up. If you're doing something like an activity, you might put 3 or 4 people together and make sure that within that 3 or 4 people there's somebody who can lead them, rather than me directing them all the time, because it's better if their peers are leading.
Because I understand the levels now, I'm also understanding the level in which people fall into, and so then you start to realise the level of material that they can actually deal with and how you need to construct it, whether it's through giving them more opportunity to discuss and verbalise things and hear other people. And that's created that opportunity for me to think about that. And, rather than just giving them, dense pieces of reading to go away and read through, we now, will give them a discussion point, and the discussion itself will actually bring out those key points. A dense PowerPoint with lots of words is not helpful to anyone. So reducing it down to key points and having pictures and things has been something I've learnt from that process.
Oh, look, the easy answer to that is we took out a lot of words and put a lot more pictures in. That's it in a nutshell.
We make people change seats a lot, so that they're sitting next to somebody else they haven't worked with before. We also put people in groups to make it diverse. So you'll have learners that have, very little problem with language or literacy, and learners that have significant. So we mix it up a lot. One of the things that happens doing that is that they end up supporting each other a great deal, and they'll sit there and help talk to each other and point out words in books, and they'll turn to each other and give explanations and try and give each other an understanding of what's being said in the broader group.
Sometimes in a group, if someone's struggling with writing and we're doing these activities, I might say to the person next to them, listen, just give your mate a hand, this is an open classroom here, work together as a group, guys, and if you haven't got any understanding, then give me a yell.
And remember, we've got the visual students, the cohort are they need to see things and they touch and do.
So we draw it and I break it down. What does 90 degrees look like? What does 0 degrees? Oh, okay. Then it connects for them.
So we do consider when designing the instruction itself, especially for apprentices, different people have got different needs, and if we say the person is not performing, we have a good culture where a person can ask for help. This process is basically too wordy for me, then we might then go on to making a flow chart for them, or maybe have a one-to-one session, or maybe the learning by showing or doing, we can go to that level as well.
The literacy teacher also has a really strong understanding of who in the group needs more support, and will in group work move through those sort of areas. But I've also developed that understanding as well now. It's been a very engaging process where we meet and talk before classes. We'll review after classes how people are going, who's participating, who's not, what that might be about, how we can actually bring them more into the participation and try and structure things around that as well. So it's been extremely helpful.